So I was just about to start recording, and my neighbor decided to start hammering something. So now I'm just like waiting. Um, and hopefully this won't go on for like an hour because I literally pressed the record button and he started hammering some bullshit. So now I'm just like, what am I supposed to do now? Hey everyone, how are y'all doing? Welcome back to another episode of a Doctor Who reaction. This is Haarute Live. My name is Matt. My nose is kinda acting up because I'm kinda sick, but if things go well, it won't matter. So, here we are. I think we're gonna be watching a Christmas special now, because we finished Series 12 last recording session. It's happening. I'm like, I need to record this right now because it's Friday, and I'm not gonna have time on Saturday or Sunday, and then it's gonna be Monday, and the video has to go live on Wednesday, which means that I'm just gonna have to rush through the whole editing and rendering and uploading process in like 1 or 2 days, and then it's like I'm just gonna have to do it right now because it's Friday, but then your nose is like human biology, bitch. My neighbor is hammering again. This is just not a good morning for me, I said. Previous episode, we've had the finale for Series 9. Episode 12, Hell Bent. Heaven Sent actually just went live on YouTube like a couple days ago. Hellbent is on Patreon. But like Heaven Sent did really well. I'm just gonna say that it did much better than any other Doctor Who episode ever on this channel. So yeah, if you showed up and you started following me because of Heaven Sent, then shout outs to you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I was planning on doing like just a talk on Series 9 because I did one for Series 8. It was like 2.5 hours long. It was really long. I ran out of voice. I couldn't talk anymore after that. So I am planning on doing the same thing again. Maybe not as long, even though Series 9 deserves it. But I can't do that right now. I need to record the next episode, so I'm just gonna do that real quick. Maybe I'll record the talk after this. Maybe I will later next week, something like that. I don't know. So fuck it. We're just gonna go and watch this Christmas special, I believe. Yeah, if you wanna hear what I thought on Hell Bent or Heaven Sent or whatever, go and check those reactions. I did like a review of it. I do want to say though that in Heaven Sent, there were things that I didn't understand at the time, and I have addressed this on like comments and descriptions or whatever. But like Heaven Sent becomes so much more clear on what's happening when you rewatch it, and I had to do it because I have to edit these things. So essentially, I rewatched Heaven Sent while editing it, and I was like, oh, okay, I got it. Because half of my brain was like time shenanigans, the other half was like, I don't know, like this is the first version of the Doctor. It's kind of like a time loop, or like I don't know. Yeah, I thought of when the Doctor explained like the 3D printer thing, essentially. Even though it was just like a metaphor, well, not really a metaphor, but just like a simplification of how it works. I was like, well, the new version of the Doctor that shows up only has memory of what happened within that lifetime, which I, for some reason, thought it was like 7,000 years long, but it was only like a week long. But also, he does remember every time this happens. And that, at that moment when he sees the wall, and he has that moment where he looks into the camera and the whole background just like moves in like a weird way, and his fist clenches. That's the cue of like he remembers everything, and then he says it. I remembered it all. But the thing is that this happens before the episode shows you what's going on, so you don't get that scene until after the explanation. So it makes sense that I didn't get it, and then I guess I kind of forgot about it. But when you rewatch it, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And in a way, that's kind of fun in a meta way, because it means that the episode makes sense once you've seen it, which is essentially the same thing Capaldi is going through. Imagine you have to watch that episode, like, I don't know, like, yeah, 1 billion times. And it's like, alright, once you watch the second time, it's like, I know what's happening, fuck, right? And that's the same for Capaldi. He's just doing this again, and then he's like, I gotta punch the wall, fuck, you know? Like, he doesn't understand it until the moment. And the same, I guess, goes for me. But whatever. That aside, I just wanted to make like a correction on that. Other than that, Capaldi has been an amazing actor. I guess he didn't really say that very much during this past 2 episodes, because I said it before. Like I said it before. I think Capaldi is like my favorite Doctor at this point. He was competing with the 7th Doctor, but I think he surpassed him. Like if he didn't surpass him in this past 2 episodes, then I don't think he's gonna. So I think I already did. But yeah, he's just amazing. Heavenson was great. Helvin was great, and I'm just excited to watch this. So without further ado, I think my neighbor stopped hammering. The dogs start barking, and I am not sneezing. So hopefully that will continue to be the same. All right. Doctor Who Series 9, Episode 13, whatever. Just 2015 or 16 Christmas. Fuck it, this is confusing. Christmas special after Series 9, before Series 10. Let's go. That was a shitty snap.
Is there anything on my head?
Yes.
This is him. This is the surgeon.
Hello.
You don't look much like your pictures.
Well, that's an ongoing problem for me.
It
Doesn't
is.
look very impressive, does he? Nardole, what have you brought to my doorstep?
I've had a haircut. This is my best suit.
It's not even a suit.
Do I recognize that voice?
And now that you've met me, you'll do your very best to forget me.
Riva!
Oi! Dr. Song to you. Sometimes Professor, but mainly Doctor.
Don't use my name, ever. How do you know me?
Seems to be the problem.
My husband.
Your husband?
Yeah.
Come to read my message. My husband, yes.
Okay.
My husband is dying.
Sure. I like the transition. I like the transition a lot. Alright. River. But it's not the same river. Or it is the same river. But the river and Doctor's relationship is complicated. But it's fun to see Alec Kingston. That's her actress name, right? Alex Kingston. Alec Kingston. There we go. It's fun to see her again. It's been like 2 seasons. Season 7 finale, right? Which for me was like 6 years ago. So it's fun to see her again.
Is there a problem?
Right, so you don't recognize me then?
Why would I recognize you?
Well, no reason.
I disobeyed your orders and sent for the finest surgeon in the galaxy!
Yeah, well.
Any tiny hint of what species he might be?
The surgeon and I will discuss the procedure. Prepare, master of my life, to live anew.
Hydrofax was leading the raid on the Halassi vaults. In the ensuing firefight, the whole thing blew up in his face, with the result that he now has the most valuable diamond in the universe, lodged 3 inches inside his enormous head. Can you remove it?
It's very small. Might be difficult to maneuver it.
Not the diamond. His head.
But wouldn't that kill him?
Well, you're the medical expert, but I'd say so, yes.
Your husband?
Sort of.
Sort of.
I basically married the diamond.
Alright, that's the river I know.
Who ends his battles by eating his enemies, dead or alive.
The murder of a creature like that wouldn't weigh very heavily on my conscience, even if I had one.
Oh!
Perhaps you should have just asked.
Oh! Well then, the plan wasn't gonna work anyway, so... I mean, putting your head down on the table wasn't very strategical of you, King Hydroflax.
I will not be placed into a bag!
Well, you shouldn't have to remove your head then.
Oh, zip it! Try to follow me, and I'll put him in a blender.
That wouldn't shut him up.
Now.
That wouldn't shut him up.
We're being threatened by a bag. By a hand in a bag.
I shall make dust of you! My enemies are meat for the devouring!
I haven't laughed in a long time.
Well, good
This
for
is
you.
true.
Die in agony!
That is true.
Submit to my supremacy! Unzip this bag!
It's me,
No, she doesn't.
Who are you?
Professor Song.
Yeah. Why does she not remember?
Prove it.
That is your actual husband. Oh my god. This is just over and over.
Found the capsule just over in the
Okay,
village,
do you
but I
wipe
can't
your
locate
own
the
memory,
capsule.
River?
I've looked everywhere.
Who's damsel?
Have you been thorough? It's not easy, you know. He does have 12 faces.
None of these men are here. Are you sure it's one of these?
Yeah.
He only has these 12 faces. He'll be around here somewhere. This is the closest intersection with the Doctor's timeline. That's why I crashed Hydroflax's ship here.
What if he has a face that you don't know about yet?
He has limits.
I didn't really know anything.
You have information.
Oh, hardly anything, really.
You will be uploaded. We apologize for the inconvenience.
Uploaded? Hell.
Don't kill Egg Boy. Well,
Hold still.
Egg Boy. Oh no.
No, this is no good. I don't like this.
You can't just steal a box.
Why not?
He's playing along.
Look, it says police.
It's a time machine. I can take it, do whatever I want for as long as I like, and pop it back a second later. He'll never know it was gone.
Yes, he will.
How?
He'll just know.
Well, he's never noticed before.
Maybe he'll notice now.
Better prepare yourself for a shock. It's not as snug as it looks.
Finally.
Finally.
It's my go. God! Is it bigger?
Yes.
On the inside.
Look, we need to concentrate.
There it is.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this, but I need you to calm down.
On the outside.
Oh, you certainly grasped the essentials.
My entire understanding of physical space has been transformed. My grasp of the universal constants of physical reality has been changed. Forever.
This is so good.
Sorry. I've always wanted to see that done properly. Wild theory, but what if this machine had certain safeguards? For instance, maybe it can't take off when a life form registers as being both inside and outside at the same time.
Head and body. You're very quick.
Yes.
For a doctor.
Yes.
Sorry, so sorry. It made me.
Oh, it made you because he's pointing himself at the gun.
Your own head.
It's not my head. Well, it is my head, but it's not my gun.
What happened to you?
Please, just do as it says.
Are you there?
Oh no.
I have a message for you.
Ramon!
Ramon probably has the body now.
You're gonna die.
Yeah. Close the doors. Time travel.
This way, come on.
What about the box? Where do we go? Stop holding my hand. People don't do that to me.
Hush now.
Don't hush me. Hush in person.
Not bad for 200, eh?
200.
I have an augmented lifespan. Long story.
So what's the occasion?
I've got the diamond. Now it's time to sell it. The Starship Harmony and Redemption. Minimum ticket price, 1 billion credits, plus the provable murder of multiple innocent life forms. Suites are reserved for planet burners. Thank you. Even the staff are required to have a verifiable history of indiscriminate slaughter. This is where genocide comes to kick back and relax.
There's something I should probably tell you.
Dr. Song, your guest has docked. He should be with you in a very few minutes.
Thank you. Whenever he's ready.
Of course.
It's my diary. One should always have something sensational to read on a spaceship.
Is it sad?
Why would a diary be sad?
I don't know, it's just that you look sad.
It's nearly full.
So?
The man who gave me this was the sort of man who'd know exactly how long a diary you were going to need.
If you don't mind my observing, sir, you do seem a little nervous. Is someone threatening you?
I'm the only one here.
Confirmed, sir. There's only one reading in the hold.
Damn it.
You have the diamond. Of course I have the diamond. Show me the money.
Once instructed, this will transfer the necessary funds to whatever account you choose.
Thank you.
The diamond.
You're going to have to dig for it a bit.
As we agreed, this accesses all the banks in the galaxy.
Thank you.
We do not do this for ourselves.
I really don't care.
We do it in honor of our distant and loving king, who once visited our world in blood and joy.
Well, isn't that lovely?
We honor thee. We prostrate ourselves in your name. Hydroflax. For love of thee, we do this thing today. Hydroflax.
Well then.
Give us the treasure.
Yeah,
What is wrong?
yeah, well.
Awkward.
Yeah, it is.
You know what? I just can't stand idly by and let this continue. Death has been done this day! Noble blood has been spilled! And our tears will surely follow.
It's right.
Behold, the hand of Hydroflax.
He's trying to play it off as if you didn't kill him yourself.
Professor Song, has the food disappointed you?
Well then,
Tissue deterioration now irreversible.
oh.
What are you going to do about that?
Additional. The projectile inside your brain continues to move. Prognosis. Death in 7 minutes.
Well, I refuse.
And the body's gonna be like, no, I'm just gonna pick another head. Alright.
This is the guide to the very best.
Oh my god.
Give that back to me.
The Diary of River Song. The ultimate guide to the Time Lord known as the Doctor.
Don't you dare touch that!
Long live the king.
He just stores heads there.
Is
Oh
River
my
Song
God.
the consort of the Time Lord known as the Doctor?
Huh? I think so, yeah. Yeah, can I stay up for a bit? It's really very whiffy down there.
Well,
The Doctor does not and has never loved me. I'm not lying.
Confirmed. The life form is not lying.
Impossible. This is a trick.
No, it isn't.
My information is correct. You are the woman who loves the Doctor.
Yes, I am. I've never denied it. But whoever said he loved me back, he doesn't go around falling in love with people. And if you think he's anything that small or that ordinary, then you haven't the first idea of what you're dealing with.
When this woman is in danger, the Doctor will always come.
Oh, you are a moron. No, he won't.
He's probably already here.
No, he isn't. Of course he isn't. God knows where he is right now. But I promise you, he's doing whatever the hell he wants and not giving a damn about me. When you love the Doctor, it's like loving the stars themselves. You don't expect a sunset to admire you back. The Doctor is not stupid enough or sentimental enough, and he is certainly not in love enough to find himself standing in it with me.
Hello, sweetie.
oh my god. Also, this is a bad situation now. So, fuck. But,
You are so doing those roots.
Got the roots of the sunset.
Don't you dare.
I'll have to check with the stars themselves.
Shut up. I was just keeping them talking till it kicks off. 2 o'clock. Here we go.
Cease this conversation.
Darling, in the event of a sudden meteor strike on the lower starboard decks, where would you say is the safest place to stand?
Meteor strike.
Exactly here, I should think.
Do you know what that isn't? A coincidence.
An escape plan.
It's cheaper than a taxi.
What meteor strike?
Alert. Meteor storm imminent.
this is why they came to us this a specific time.
You know.
I'm an archaeologist from the future. I dug you up. See you in 400 years!
That is a really good line. I dug you up. See you in 400 years, bitch. That's great.
Welcome to thing is protected like money. Every stock market with a light chair is arguing in your head.
I do not understand.
That's the way it is for most people. Crashing spaceships, that's my job.
Yeah, you're going back to the TARDIS. And then River's gonna show up with the TARDIS and catch the Doctor.
Get back in the TARDIS, this is my job.
This is my job.
I've been doing it longer.
I do it better.
Alright. Okay, so like one day after Mars.
The singing towers of Beryllium. Here we are at last.
Sir?
The final thing in River's
You
book.
should build a restaurant right here with a view of those towers. You make a lot of money that way.
You need a lot of money to begin with, sir.
The Halassi Andruvar. I think you'll find that the reward is pretty substantial.
Why would you give me this, sir?
Restaurant.
The last thing in their book is we need to go to a restaurant that is in front of the Singing Towers. And the Doctor literally just created that. Oh my god, that is so fun. But that is the last thing in their book, I assume. That's why this is so important.
Excuse me. I'd like a table on the balcony with a view of the towers.
I'm sorry, sir. The first available slot I have is Christmas Day, in 4 years' time.
Not a problem.
Do we have a good table?
The finest in all the galaxy, Mom.
Ramon.
Professor Song. The doctor will be with you in a moment. Fixed us up. I've been working here ever since.
What about Nardo?
Oh, Merry Christmas, Mom. Good to see you again.
Merry Christmas, Nardo!
Sorry I'm off duty. I'm just having some me time.
I imagine that must be quite a challenge.
Yes, Mom.
Now that, my dear, is a suit.
Happy Christmas.
A new diary. Maybe. It's...
Screwdriver. How lovely.
Oh my
I saw the
god.
Sonic trial. I thought it was just embarrassing.
Oh, thank you.
I know what that is. We all know what that is, but River doesn't. Wait, do the towers actually sing? That's so stupid.
Listen
I love it.
I told you, my diary's nearly full. I worry. There are stories about us, you know.
Oh, I dread to think.
Some of them suggest that the very last night we spend together is at the Singing Towers of Beryllium.
Yeah. That's it.
If this is the last night, I expect you to find a way round it.
Not everything can be avoided. Not forever. Times end, River, because they have to. Because there's no such thing as happy ever after. It's just a lie we tell ourselves because the truth is so hard.
Happy ever after doesn't mean forever. It just means time. Little time.
Nobody really understands where the music comes from. It's probably something to do with the precise positions, the distance between both towers. All anyone will ever tell you is that when the wind stands fair and the night is perfect, when you least expect it, but always when you need it the most. That is a song.
How long is a night on Beryllium?
24 years.
That's so stupid.
I hate you.
It's great.
No, you don't.
So, did they both just chill there for 24 years? That was it, then. Yeah. Okay. By the way, I have a new phone case. I just wanted to show off that. Because I made this design myself. I actually got it from... okay, so it's like... I grabbed like a piece of official art of GER from JoJo. And then I did like a design on top of it. And then I sent this to like a custom... like a place to make custom cases for your phone. And got it done, and it looks cool as shit. So I'm very happy about that. Whatever. Anyway, that was a cool ass episode. So, it's nice to see River back. So, I think the implication at the end of that episode is that the Doctor decided to just stay there with River for like 24 years. And just chill there. Just get a house, maybe, whatever. That would be fun. I mean, they also, like... yeah. No. I was about to say, like, they could just travel together for, like, a little bit. Because they have a literal time machine. But it's like, no, they do spend the last night on this planet, specifically. So it's like, okay. But then it's like, yeah, well, but they can just stay there for 24 years before they can leave. So River has another 24 years to just hang out with the Doctor, which is quite a bit of time, you know? That's quite a bit. Like, I'm not even 24 years. I'm 23, so yeah, longer than my entire lifetime. They can just chill until River has to go and die. So that's good. I really like how the Doctor just gave her the screwdriver, because that means nothing to her, but it means everything to me. And to the Doctor, because after this, they're gonna chill there in this planet in front of the Singing Towers for 24 years, and then immediately afterwards, River's gonna have to go to the library and meet Tennant, which is the first time that we saw River, and the last time that. Yeah, the first time that we saw River and the last time for River's perspective. So that's it. It's kind of sad because River spends so much time with the Doctor, especially now. She's just gonna chill with him for like 24 years, and then he's gonna go from Capaldi to Tennant and be like, "Oh my God, you don't remember it, do you? You know." It's also fun that River does know who Tennant is, like, right away. Even though she doesn't spend time with Tennant, but it's because she did. She does have, like, every face of the Doctor just, like, noted, you know? She just completely noted. The one thing that I kept thinking about is at the beginning, the Doctor did say, "River, it's me. I'm the Doctor." And River, it's like, yeah, you're a doctor, so what? Like, she doesn't get it. And it's like, if this man, this mysterious, sarcastic, snarky man, showed up in a TARDIS and said, "I'm the Doctor," I would be like, yeah, he's the Doctor. Like, I wouldn't doubt it, you know? Like, River, I understand that River has this thing of, like, the Doctor only has this faces. He doesn't have an extra one. So this is all he has. I understand that, but at the same time, like, the bald boy dude, whatever, he did get the Doctor from the TARDIS. Like, he saw the TARDIS, and he knocked, and the Doctor came off of it. And he was like, "Oh, it's you, right?" And then it brought him to River, and then he was like, "Oh, you're River." It's like, "Hey, River, it's me." And River is like, "Yeah, whatever. Who are you? You know, some random dude." And it's like, he literally said, "I'm the Doctor." So yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Because it made me think that River was like she erased her memory, or somebody erased her memory, or whatever. But that wouldn't really make sense a lot with the River we have in the future, unless that this is a River that like got her memories erased and then Capaldi fixed it, and then the timeline makes sense, or she's just playing along. Like she's actually lying for whatever reason. But I do think that scene that we get, I'm actually gonna check the wiki because I want to make sure. But there we have that scene where River starts talking about how the Doctor doesn't really care about her. Like, the Doctor doesn't love her back. She loves the Doctor, but the Doctor doesn't love her back. Because it's like, well, you don't love like, you don't expect the stars to love you back. You don't expect the horizon to love you back. Like, it's beautiful to look at, but nothing more than that. Like, it's just something amazing that is, like, there for you to appreciate, but nothing else. The Doctor tries telling River who he is, but it stops when River tells him the Doctor is above falling in love. You don't expect a sunset to admire you back. When you love the Doctor, it's like loving the stars themselves. She then adds that he wouldn't be sentimental enough to be struck in this situation with her. Breathing heavily from venting her feelings, River notices the Doctor's steady gaze and a mild smirk. She gives a confused look, to which he says, "Hello, sweetie." Alright. Seeing how dense she's been, River tells him he'll be doing his roots, as the Doctor taunts her with the romantic poetry she used to describe her love for him. She tells him she was buying time until it happens. Yeah. So, alright, so I think that scene was pretty genuine, because, like, so I was thinking either that scene was a lie, and River was just playing, and the Doctor also maybe was just playing, at that point in time specifically, but that scene felt very genuine. It felt genuine, so genuine that I was like, no, this has to be real. And if it is real, then it's like, well, River, you're just stupid. Because at the beginning, she didn't... They got the Doctor from the TARDIS, and he said, "I'm the Doctor." And then River was like, "No, I don't know who you are." It's like, come on. But whatever. We can just say Eggboy didn't tell River he got him from the TARDIS, even though those were the instructions he probably got. You know, because like, he did go into the TARDIS and knock and say, "Hey, you're the surgeon, right?" It's like, "Oh, close enough. We need you." So, like, the instructions that boy had were, go and get the TARDIS. Get the person who is inside the TARDIS. So, that's it. Like, maybe I'm missing something. Let's just assume I'm missing something. That was either really stupid, that doesn't really make much sense, or I'm missing something. But even if it is stupid and it doesn't make sense, like, who cares? Fuck the show. It's Doctor Who cares? Okay, let's talk about that scene, the genuine scene that I talked about. That was a really good scene. The scene where River is just saying all that sentimental shit, and the Doctor is just staring at her in the background. Because it is sentimental, and it is funny at the same time. Because it is, like, it reveals a lot of the character of River and what she thinks her relationship with the Doctor has been, and at the same time she's saying he will never be stupid enough to be locked in this situation with me. And I'm looking at Capaldi like, yeah, that is funny. But that is a really good scene for River. I'm glad they gave her that. I'm glad River's back for even this episode, and I'm glad we got to see that scene. That was fun. I did like that. I did like that a lot. That scene that River has, like, after that scene is really good. When they're like, River is like, we just gotta wait until it happens. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? And it's like, I don't know, a meteor shower. And then meteor shower happens. And everyone's like, what? How did you know? And she's like, I'm an archaeologist from the future. I dug you up, bitch. Like, she stood in the one place that she knew was gonna be safe. Because, of course, she's from the future. She knows that shit. And then everyone, yeah, they survive that way. Everyone else doesn't. And, like, I want to say that I thought about it. I thought that when River said that everybody in the ship is, like, a murderer of some sort, or, like, genocide or whatever, my immediate thought was, like, okay, we can just, like, we could just do something that is gonna get everyone killed. Because now we have a justification for, like, if everyone in this ship dies, it would be like, well, Shane, who cares? You know? Because it's like, well, they were all murderers anyway. And that did happen. Like, the ship did crash and everybody died. And after that, Capaldi did go to this random dude at the crash site and went, well, Shane, like, he was like, I don't think there were any survivors, and if there were, I doubt it would be the kind of people you would give a shit about, you know? So, I was right in that regard, even though I didn't say it, but I did think about it. Because it's the same thing of, like, when you show up like a Nazi army in whatever work of fiction, unless it's like World War, which is not really that much fiction, it's just historical, but if you show in any work of fiction just an army of Nazis, it's like, yeah, we can just kill them. Like, everyone in this scene can die, and it would be like, well, they were Nazis, it's fine. You know, you can totally do that. So I think it would be the same thing here. It applies. I did like Egg Boy. I did very much like Egg Boy. Not really Ramon. Well, we didn't get to see Ramon a lot, but, like, who gives a shit? It's just some dude. Egg Boy was cool. I don't remember his name. I'm just gonna call him Egg Boy. This is, like, really bald dude that also had no eyebrows. It's like, he looked like a literal egg. No offense to that actor. Like, you have a unique look. I like it. I was expecting him to, like, be more relevant, but I guess he was somewhat relevant. He made it to the end, sort of. So, yeah, whatever. He's cool. Oh, I want to talk about the fucking mech suit that King Hydro, whatever was his name? Hydroflag? What the fuck was his name? King Hydroflax, yeah. I want to talk about King Hydroflax and the whole thing about his mech suit or whatever, because I find that really fun. The fact that the king is not really the person, because, okay, he was the person, and then the person got so fucked up that they became a cyborg. Or maybe they didn't get fucked up and became a cyborg, but maybe they just decided to become a cyborg because it would be better, I guess. So we have this dude, and then he becomes a cyborg, and then the cyborg has, it's like the part of him, the body, which is just full metal, has a mind of its own versus the head. And then the body decides, you know what, this head's not doing it for me anymore. It ain't worth it. So it just kills it. And then it's like, well, I need a new head. The king will continue to live. And it's like, I find really funny that the king is not really the king. It's not really the person. It's not Hydro Flask. It's just whoever has the mech suit. And I guess they connect to the mech suit or what. Well, they don't. Because the heads that the mech suit put on were still conscious and still had their own, like... Yeah, they had their own thoughts. So they don't become assimilated by the mech suit. That's fucking weird. Then what is the point? Alright. Never mind that. It's just to make an intimidating enemy that is like, it's just this giant suit, and it's just like, I'm gonna decapitate you and take your head. Like, that, I guess that's intimidating. So I guess that's the only reason why that exists and makes sense. Yeah, but I did find that very interesting, very funny, because it does tap a little bit into that whole sci-fi part of it, when it's like, I guess it's better put in the, like, Capaldi terms, in the breath, when he's like, you replace the brush and then you replace the handle. Is it the same like thing anymore? And it's like, well, no, but yeah, but no. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. And it is that like weird sci-fi topic when it's like, what is even being human anymore? What is humanity? You know, but it did touch a little bit on that, but nobody addressed it. But like thematically, it's there, so I found that really fun. I'm just gonna skim through the episode real quick, see if there was anything that I want to see. I mean, River was great. The head thing was great. The fact that he said, "I'm the doctor," and then he was like, "This is how you control a TARDIS," and he was like really quick, and River was still not cluing in. It was like, what? Fucking what? Really, River? I like the moment after the crash happens. The doctor like time travels like a couple hours into the future, and like he finds this random like worker looking dude being like, "Oh, did you see that? Oh, you saw the crash? I was looking for any survivors, but I couldn't find anyone." And it's like, well, thank you for doing so, but they probably were garbage anyway, so don't worry too much about it. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, all right, you know what would be fun? If we had a restaurant here. And he was like, yeah, I guess it could be. All right, do you want to make a restaurant? So that would take a lot of money. Here's a diamond that is valued at like a bajillion fucking credits or whatever. And he's like, sir, that's a lot of money. And he was like, yeah, make a restaurant. And then he time traveled to the future, and it's like, hey, welcome, sir, what can I help you today? Like, that was a really fun scene. That is a really fun scene that you can only make with time travel. And I'm a sucker for that shit. Because like I said, I enjoy the time travel aspect of this show and just sci-fi in general more than I enjoy the space travel aspect, because it's like space, aliens, like weird spaceships. It's like I'm not really like I'm somewhat into that, but not really. I'm much more interested into the time travel aspect, and that very like it wasn't a long scene, but it was a really cool scene of like the doctor just walked to the console, time travel one night, and then he walked out. He gave the fucking diamond to this one random dude and said, make a restaurant. Then we walked back to the TARDIS, turned the console, came, like, step outside of the TARDIS, and, oh, there's a restaurant here. How can I help you today, sir? I would like to make a reservation in the table that is in front of the Singing Towers. And it's like, I'm sorry, sir, but we're filled until Christmas Day in 4 years. And he's like, all right. No problem. He walked to the TARDIS, he touched the console again, and then he's like, yeah, my table is ready. Like, oh my god, dude. That's really fun. That's really fun. I like that a lot. I guess that's it for the talk of this episode, honestly. I kept thinking about it, and I don't think there's... I think it's a very straightforward episode, honestly. I mean, it's a one-off, so it makes sense. But I'm just happy we got to see River again. Because here, I'm going to talk about River for a little bit, because this might be the last time we ever see River. So I'm going to talk about River for a little bit, because this might be the last time we ever see River. And it's also a thing of, like... It's also a thing of, like, I never actually talk about River. Because I started doing these reactions with the Series 8 with Capaldi. That was after River, so I never got to talk about River. But, okay. So the Matt Smith era is something that I'm somewhat conflicted about, because I did like Matt Smith's Doctor. And I did like a number of stories during Matt Smith's era that were really fun. But a lot of the relationships that the 11th Doctor had with the people close to him were very flirty in nature, and that's not something I enjoyed. And the River Song character was a character that I wasn't entirely on board for, like right away, because it was like a one-dimensional, like, yeah, I'm like sexy badass lady, and like I'm just in a relationship with the main character, and that's it. Like, it felt a little bit one-dimensional, I think. And I'm not saying she was, but she felt like it. And I do enjoy the badass aspect of River has. I didn't enjoy it as much with Matt Smith, is the thing. And because that's the thing. They both weren't being genuine. Alright, if that makes any sense. Neither River nor Matt Smith were ever genuine. And I do like... There's a long bike just passing through. So, yeah, I think that both River and the 11th Doctor weren't genuine or honest in a lot of their... And I think both River and the 11th Doctor weren't genuine or, like, honest in their approach to their relationship, if that makes any sense. Like, it felt very superficial, I think. Which is why I really like, okay, so the episodes where I like River are the episodes where River doesn't feel superficial and one-dimensional, and she feels like an actual character. This is one of those. This is the most character River episode we've had since probably Silence in the Library, Force of the Dead. Honestly, like, okay, I don't remember every single River Song episode, but maybe since then, honestly. Maybe the Manhattan thing with Amy and Rory the last time we saw them. Maybe that, like, Angels Take Manhattan. Yeah, that was the name of the episode. Maybe that one. Maybe. But I'm not sure. River did show up for like a second in Name of the Doctor. So, okay. Maybe there. But I just don't remember that very well. Like, that's the thing. Is that a lot of what I'm saying is relying on my memory of what I watched like 6-7 years ago. And I don't have a very good memory. So but that's how I feel about it. So River is a character that I always felt conflicted about, and it really depended on the episode she was in, honestly. And this episode was a really good one for River, and I think she functions much better with Capaldi, because Capaldi is a much more honest version of the Doctor. Because that's the thing, is that Matt Smith felt like unbelievably, like, I don't want to say dishonest, because that's not really the word I want to use, but it's like, I don't think you could ever tell what Matt Smith was thinking, or what Matt Smith was, like, feeling. You know? Like, Matt Smith always felt like there was something underneath of what you were seeing, in a way. Capaldi feels like he's a stoic, in a way, but like, he's a stoic, he's serious, but he's not deceiving anyone. I mean, he does deceive people sometimes because he's the Doctor, that's just what he does. But as a character, he doesn't feel deceiving. It feels like what I'm looking at is what I'm getting, right? I can just see the emotion, I can see what more or less in what direction I should feel about this character and what they are going through, right? Peter Capaldi's Doctor, the 12th Doctor, feels much more honest than how I felt when I watched the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith. So, and that's not of Matt Smith. That's just, I'm assuming this is just the character. The character of the 11th Doctor feels a lot more deceiving than the 12th Doctor, which feels a lot more honest. And that is something I'm a big fan about. I love honesty. And so River, with the 11th Doctor, felt very deceiving on both ends, while this episode felt very honest on both ends. Not the entire episode, because that's just River for you and that's just the Doctor for you, but comparatively, it felt like a lot better, right? We have a lot of honest moments between them, and I do like that actually kind of came into play. At least the way I interpret it. Like, I actually want to go to the scene where River is saying the shit. So the way I take that, I just watched that scene again, but the way I took that was that River has been with the 11th Doctor more than any other version of the Doctor, I think. Like, she does recognize all of his faces, but she hasn't been with every Doctor. I think she's just been mostly with Matt Smith, because we haven't seen River with any other Doctor ever, right? Unless you want to say that maybe River showed up in the comics or in the Big Finish audio series, but like, I don't think those are canon. Maybe you won't consider them canon, but I don't think they're canon. But whatever. Let's just say that River has just hung up with Matt Smith only, the 11th Doctor only. So the fact that she's like, he like, I love the Doctor and I never denied it, but whoever said he loved me back, like, he doesn't go around falling in love with people. That it's stupid to think that. And it's like, I can see that if we're talking about the 11th Doctor specifically. Like, I can see that if we're talking about the 11th Doctor, because we've seen Tennant, and oh boy, Tennant, right? So Tennant was something. And that tells me immediately that River doesn't know. Like, River's perception of the Doctor is strongly based around Matt Smith specifically. Okay? So, yeah. Yeah, I would say that River's perception of what the Doctor is, what kind of personality or what stuff does he do, I think it's strongly based on Matt Smith, on 11th Doctor. So what she's saying here, I actually consider it to be true if we're talking about the 11th Doctor. Maybe not entirely, but that's the way it appears, because like, that's the way I feel about it. Like, whether or not the 11th Doctor would actually not give a shit about this, which I don't think he wouldn't give a shit. I just think that he wouldn't give it much of a shit as every other Doctor. Maybe not every other, but like most others. Peter Capaldi, I feel like, cares more, essentially. That's what it comes down to. So, what River's here saying, that's the way I feel about what the relationship always was. So I actually do like that she's saying it, because it is addressing my problem with the 11th Doctor and River's relationship, right? Well, it isn't really my problem. It's just the way they were written, and I was like, I wasn't on board with it, because like, here's the thing. So there's two things that I don't entirely like about this shit, and I actually talked about this a little bit on like old videos from like Series 8. I don't remember who asked or what essentially the question was, but like, and I don't even remember what he said, but I said something of like, I don't really like romance, and people were like, really? And I was like, yeah, I don't. And there's two things here, is that there is romance, which is what I consider to be like, I don't know, David Tennant and Rose, and then there is flirting, but no romance, which is what I consider to be Matt Smith and literally everyone. And I don't like either of those, but I can tolerate romance more than flirting. The reason why is because one is honest and genuine, and the other is incredibly superficial. And while flirting can be funny with clever lines, it's not genuine for characters. From like a characterization standpoint, is not genuine, and I like it even less. It can be funny, but that's it. But I would rather pick the more like genuine romance. But I still would prefer it if it wasn't there, if that makes any sense. But the 12th Doctor is a lot more honest than the 11th Doctor. I would consider the 11th Doctor to be deceiving, to be kind of a trickster, you know? And that has its own charm. Every Doctor has its own charm, but in this specific case of like Matt Smith's relationships, I like the 12th Doctor approach way better, okay? And when I say that, it's like he's not approaching to any of this as like an actual relationship, except this episode is gonna be the closest we ever got to that, right? This episode would be the closest we ever got to a proper 12th Doctor relationship, and that's fine. Like, I like that the 12th Doctor doesn't really have anyone that it like is in a relationship with, or like a love interest or whatever, because first of all, it would be a little bit weird. Peter Capaldi is a little bit old, which is why Clara went with flirting with Matt Smith to immediately being like, no. And I was like, good. I didn't like that dynamic, so I like this dynamic much better. So I guess the closest we got was here with River, and it makes more sense, and they made River have like a very genuine moments, and at that point I'm like, you know what, I like this. This is good, because they actually brought back a character that was I thought was an interesting character. I just wasn't entirely on board with what they did with her back in the day, or what her dynamic was with the main character back in the day. But now we have a new, like, now it's been years. We have a new main character essentially, so it's like this character can actually have a moment to be more honest, be more genuine, shine better, have better awesome dialogue and characterization, have better awesome like moments of dialogue and characterization, and suddenly it's like good River's saved. River's song is saved, essentially. That's how I feel about it. I was always on board with River badassery, not with her relationship with everyone else. And you do see a little bit of that River, in the sense that she's still like tricking people into marrying her, and then she's like, well, I wanted the diamond. It's like you still see that part of River, but she did become much more honest. I'm just using the same two words over and over because I don't know that much English, so I can't think of synonyms. I can't think of similar words for it, but yes, you understand what I'm trying to say. That's the point of talking. All you need to do is understand what I'm trying to say. Doesn't mean if I say it bad. Doesn't matter. I just need to say it, and you need to actually decipher what I'm trying to say, and then we're good. So, whatever. The point is, River in this episode, very good. River in general. If we consider this episode to be the closing episode to River's character, very good one. River is saved. 12th Doctor with relationships in general, good. Much more honest than Matt Smith. And, like, I like it better than with Matt Smith, and I like it better than with David Tennant. Because David Tennant was, like, boy, he loved to fall in love. David Tennant was a romantic. Like, with David Tennant, like, the series 2, like, he just fell in love with Rose somehow. Series 3, after Rose was gone, the entire season he was hung up about Rose. And Martha was after Tennant, and Tennant was like, oh, but Rose though. And eventually Martha was like, alright, fuck you, I'm out. Like, a friend of mine once told me, like, you need to get out. So this is me getting out. Like, fuck you if you're not going to look at me. And then I was like, you know what? That's fair. If that is the reason why you were with me, then that's fair. And it's like, Martha was really good. But Martha did want Tennant to just pay attention to her. And Tennant was like, oh, but Rose though. So the fact that after Rose was gone, he was an entire season just being like, oh my god, Rose. I was like, oh my god, Tennant. Shut up. Then we had Donna, and Tennant, like, the moment he brought Donna along, he was like, listen, I'm done with this shit. I just want somebody to just hang out with. I just want someone to pull around. I just want a friend. That's it. You know, because he's been through so much, and he's just tired of this romance bullshit. And, like, yeah, like, Tennant was a huge romantic, essentially. He was a huge romantic. Yeah. So, I like the Peter Capaldi approach better because it's almost non-existent. It's almost non-existent. He's very weird about people in his personal space. He doesn't want people to touch him. He is, like, almost alien to emotions. Like, he feels very alien. He feels like he doesn't know what to do, like, when presented with emotions. And I do like that. I do like that a lot. But at the same time, he is vulnerable. He is a vulnerable character. But he just doesn't understand them emotions, you know? And I do like that. So I do like the Peter Capaldi approach a lot, actually. But yeah, I guess we're done talking about this episode. I decided to just swerve into comparing with previous Doctors a little bit at the end of this discussion, but fuck it. Like, there wasn't a lot to talk about with this episode, so I just made up some bullshit. But it is true, so I think it's fitting to talk about it here. But anyway, just fun to see River back. I'm excited to start Series 10, which would be the last Capaldi season. So, I'm excited, and simultaneously, like, I don't wanna go. I don't wanna let go, but we're gonna have to at some point, so. Alright, everyone, thank you so much for watching this Doctor Who reaction. If you want to see more, next episode should be already up on Patreon as well as full length. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you next time. Take care.